I know this one because
now
this takes
watch
me to
on the other
regular
screen. Watch the other screen.
It's
gonna change.
Yep. Live 6.
Bam.
7,
So then you get analytics.
8. Okay.
Screen is blank. It'll start showing up your picture here in a second.
Okay.
Okay. We're not live though. Oh, now we are because you clicked live. You're live 8 minutes early, Scobo. Have a good show. You clicked live in the YouTube window, so you're live on YouTube.
It got me. Oh, well, hey, welcome aboard, everybody.
We're just trying to teach Scobo a new thing, and he learned it early.
And I fucked it up early, so there we go.
Premiere time.
Premiere time. Welcome to the late sesh. One of these days, I will learn how to do this, and the stream will be better for it. But in the meantime, this pays off for people who show up early.
Next time you'll have it down.
The funny thing is I was trying to get us to do the Premiere link so that I could already have chat pulled up, but I don't have YouTube pulled up at all right now. So cheers, chat. I'll see you guys in like 25 minutes when I finally have you pulled up here.
Surprise.
So it's all Red's fault, and he's not ready.
Oh,
all my fault. I'm not even ready. 8 minutes early, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
It's all Scobo's fault.
Yeah, man.
You know what, though? People in the chat are probably glad to have something to look at rather than just a blank screen, wondering if Skilbo is awake to be able to do the show or not this week.
Yeah. So I told Skilbo to push a button, and he decided to push 2 buttons. So here you are, 8 minutes early.
Hey, man. Extra 8 minutes of content.
Like the OG16 says, never fuck up, just a lesson. And we are live.
At least Skilbo is here with us this week.
Hey,
Sequences cameo in his pretty face with us also.
Yeah, I didn't intend on being here, so I'm gonna bounce out. But you guys got this.
I'm gonna figure out YouTube
now.
For a second.
Later, bro. Go get some
Skilbo. At the end of this thing, you gotta keep that same window open, and that button that says "End Stream" that you accidentally pressed. That's the one you gotta press, or it'll stay live for like 4 more hours.
It'll make people think that we're like super streaming.
Correct. That's what all the other streams. A lot of shows don't push that button, so.
And it'll loop the last 30 seconds every time you log on.
Remember, push that button.
Push the button. Good luck, guys. Have a great show. Hey, chat.
Thanks
for being here.
It was great seeing you yesterday.
Great seeing you. Thank you for coming out to the farm, brother.
Thanks for the grub, bub.
Good shit, right? Fresh cuts in the chat. Make sure you shout on that.
With that buttery, I told him that the brisket was so good. You know it's good when you can use a plastic fucking fork on it, and it just breaks apart on you. So, shout out to him. The eats were good, and the company was awesome. The smoke was the best.
I had a great time, man. It was really awesome coming out there, especially since I was able to drop off the pup at my parents' place and only have to drive like 15 minutes to get out there to the greenhouse and barbecue. It was great. Definitely local to you guys.
Yeah. You have to hang out more, Red. You're all right. I don't mind hanging out with you too much.
Yeah,
sort of. Somewhat.
Sort of. Sometimes.
Yeah, man.
It was great seeing everybody. Porch Farmer and Tommy Trichomes, and obviously Tara, Lori, and Spartan, and you guys, and you know the couple other guys that I met. And I'm terrible with names when I meet people for 1 or 2 times.
I got these ones. Those were Dakota and Gideon.
Cheers, guys! It was a pleasure meeting you as well, and it was a great time, man. That brisket was great. I'm not a red meat eater, so you know when I do eat red meat, it's only on special occasions. So it was really good.
Red Setter Farm was eating fucking cheesecake.
Special.
Or no, pumpkin log.
Yeah, I don't eat dairy either, so that's a rare occasion for me also. It was good. Special occasions.
Red was off his wheels, man.
Every now and then, man. Every now and then. I like it. Try to get off the OCD kick every now and then.
I was feeling good too, man. And I got a bunch of good pictures of you, Red, so hopefully you pick some of those up out of the chat when I put them in there earlier.
Red is so memeable. His expression.
So memeable.
Right there, man.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't even try. I don't try. Not intentional. I'm sorry, guys.
All right, guys. Good luck. I'll be watching, but I got to bounce out of here. My computer's trying to process some stuff.
Have a great night, Sequence.
Not enjoying this.
Cannabis you guys got going on over there.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, man.
Backseat asked if anyone's keeping the contest plants in their garden. I have them in my garden right now. And in the greenhouse.
And with that, he was gone.
Yeah, you know what I noticed about the grow off plant is it's an early flower. I'm sorry, it's getting into flower early, a lot earlier than the rest of the genetics. I'm stuttering my words. I'm sorry, but the I mean they're further. They're, I don't know, 6-8 days further than anything else. Maybe 10 or 12 days further than some of the other stuff. Like Death Star, that one's pretty far behind. It's barely flowering on my end over here. I got a couple others, like Girls Gone Wild barely started flowering. There's, fortunately, Flow, Rainbow Driver, Great Glee, those are coming across, but nothing like a few of the ones in the greenhouse, man. They look like they're 20 days, 21 days into flower by now. They're well crowned, fully formed, stacking nicely, look like they're going to slow down on stretch anytime. And that means that they're going to harvest good time, man. End of September, middle of September, something like that. Not bad.
And before the
end of
rains,
September.
man.
Yeah, hopefully they won't get too big of an issue either, being in that greenhouse. Those rains.
This is
humidity
crazy.
will get high, but
The technology side of things is I'm sitting here on the show account and I'm seeing the show account replying in chat. It's kind of like some haunted shit. So cheers, Sequence. He said he was watching and he is. So I see that we have a lot of people in the chat already, and I see a lot of different names, which is awesome. I hope that you guys have had a mellow Monday and that you're able to chill with us for a little while, sit down, relax, maybe roll something up, do a dab or two, have some laughs.
did anything stand out to you specifically that we smoked on yesterday, Scobo? Probably talked about it last night, but you didn't get a chance to catch most of the show last night, so
I was driving. I was able to
yeah, you only
catch.
caught the last half.
I caught about an hour of it. So, what I really liked, I liked the blue cough that Spartan brought. It really came through nicely. Tara was nice enough to give me some blueberry, so I've got that ready to roll. Um, I was able also to get some of Spartan's grow off that, obviously we didn't do any turn ins for it, but I really liked the one. I felt that there was a dominant flavor or smell profile to that plant. That everybody that grew that knows that there's like two different smells going on with that plant. There's like the no smell one, and then there is the fruity one. And it turned out really nice. But what's interesting is, if you want to talk about the grow off for a second, guys, is after having sampled everything pretty much except for sequences, some of the ones that the judges had were better than, and I'm not saying like better grown, but some of the flavor profiles were better on those, which I feel like Miss C and Abolished, they had two that were really, really nice that finished way early and everything else. So just interesting. And of course, I do have the shout out to Drill Crows. That's just sick, isn't it?
Yeah, it was delicious. It was really good stuff. It was the collaboration. They used a couple different phenos in that, if I'm not correct, right? They used both of their products in that one. Nice little homogenization. Yeah, it was really good stuff. I dabbed on it. I like to hold on to like I'm like you with that kind of stuff, because I'm not a huge like dabber, at least at the moment. I'm not big on the torch and stuff like that. If I had an e-nail, it'd probably be a little bit different. At the moment, I don't have one, so like the Tropicana cookie stuff that the MI No-Till guy at Canna Kitten gave us. I still have probably a good half of that sample left.
The Trop cookies.
Yeah, that Trop cookies I still have. I mean, that stuff's fire. It's still fire. It's been sitting around since like January. Special occasion dabs, same deal with that select stuff. I got other random stuff laying around I can dab on if I wanted to, but
I mean, that one,
like I said, man,
that's the one.
that Torture Bay, that's good
Tell
stuff.
me I'm just resin fingered, man.
Gotta be resin fingered.
Doing some harvesting today, so.
Oh, what were you pulling down there?
I was taking down the GG4, and
That's where the resin fingers come from.
oh yeah, that and the skunk one that was next to it. So I've got to wait till after the show and go back in and get back to work on it. But
This is that round that you've been growing under the new lights, right?
yeah, this is all under the 3K 660 nanometer
So
quantum
do you have to double
quartz,
up your drying space yet?
dude. Yeah,
Yeah, you already had. Yeah.
yeah.
Figured
So I got the old the eye hooks and the rope ratchet. So I have a rope ratchet hooked across there, just pulled super tautly, and then I just hang all of the sticks off of there. So I've got two of those going across the room right now, and we'll see how that's going to work. It's not full yet, so
It's good. But I've been trying to roll a joint for it's 11 o'clock. I don't know, like since like 9:30 or something like that, 9:45. I don't know, for like an hour and a half. I feel like I
What the
keep getting
fuck?
distracted. I don't know, man. Like I made tea and then like had Alexa play a song and then like I ran off, did some other shit. I've like been trying to break down this joint in the middle of all this stuff, right? Break up a bud, get up and go walk away, do something. I'm gone for like 10, 15 minutes. Come back, break up a bud. This damn plate. I finally got the weed broken up. We'll see if I can actually get the joint rolled before I finish this conversation. But
well, what do you got? What are you rolling up?
basically what we were smoking on yesterday, the Apollo 13. I'm down to right now. That's all I have. I have Apollo 13. I have Death Star in my possession. So it's pretty much between those two. I'd say as far as like what I want to smoke all day, it's a toss up. I like smoking Death Star in the morning. I like smoking Apollo 13 in the morning. The Apollo 13 is a lot more fragrant. It's a lot more funky. And
Good
I
man.
think I lean towards that a little bit more. That's why I brought it with me yesterday. And that's kind of why I'm smoking right now. So
That was my traveler from the show, so that was good.
it was. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I said pinch that bag. And so how did you like that as you were able to smoke that kind of in as a baseline,
Oh yeah,
you and your traveler?
it was a real smooth ride, man. But it definitely after a second, because Sweetman's rolled a big bomb of it for me. I was like, oh shit, okay, let's just lock in here. So, uh,
And it burned slow too. The Apollo was slow burner.
so we had that yesterday. Spartan came through with the Mac One again. Always nice to smoke that. What else did we have? Sequence had the Big Detroit Energy and Crescendo. I took the headlights. Um, Spartan also had
What was
the
that one
Blue
porch
Cough.
farmer brought? Swamp thing or
Swamp sticks.
swamp sticks.
Yeah,
Tasted swampy,
yeah.
funky,
You get the garlic and then the
gunky,
fruit kind of.
garlicky,
Yeah. And then the other one was I
earthy.
think it was it Grateful Breath. I think is what that was.
Sounds
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 right.
about right.
Sounds like it could be.
I don't know. I took a nice big old dose of FSO almost as soon as I got there, and it was stimulating, man. It had my tongue rolling. So I don't know. I was giving just brutal ear bashings all around, and I apologize for dominating the conversation yesterday. But I
Dude.
blame Sequence. He hooked me up with that FSO, so I actually don't blame him. I appreciate him for hooking me up with that. It's been a while since I made any.
It was like Christmas for you when you got that. Oh, that's what it was. Thank you, Tara. Was the New England Rock Candy Taffy. M2 grew it. Predicated Breeding is the dude on that.
I must have missed out on that one. Was that a flower or was that a dab?
That was Flower that M2 had.
Oh, maybe I did smoke it then.
Yeah. We had it in the
was
garage when we
I
were
got
at
there
the
late.
big
I
table.
didn't get there till like 5 o'clock. So.
You got there late, and then I didn't get to hang out too much longer afterwards when Tommy showed up. So I know Tommy brought some fire. He got lucky enough to sit down and get that big ass plate of grub. Yeah, see, if you look in the chat, you'll see it's the Grateful Breath that was what we were talking about with Porch Farmer. Hard
like
to
that.
describe this. Oh man. Cheers, guys. We have 70 people chilling with us so far. And I see, like I said, a lot of the regulars. Chat is moving along tonight. Yeah, man. Oh, Lori, you
I
finally
guess
changed your name on here? So you're going to be Lori, no more Ick? We're talking about that Ick shit, man.
I guess if I'm gonna switch over to live chat, I should announce if you want to hang out with us in a more
There you go.
streamlined fashion. Click live chat up at the top where it says top chat, and you'll be able to hang out with us more directly.
Well, shit. I guess we should talk about the greenhouse. So we were able.
That's where my head was going. I was trying to
Think how to
trying
segue
to
to it?
rally up a couple. Yeah. I was trying to rally up a couple thoughts about a couple of those genetics that we were coming across. The anvil, the purples.
Yeah.
There were.
It's like an eggplant purple though. It's not like your typical purple that you think. It's just super super dark, man.
If you go on my Instagram at Red Setter Farm, and you scroll down, I don't know, about halfway, there's a purple flower in snow, and that's pretty much what these anvils look like. One of them was even deeper, maybe fuchsia, a little more pink and red. It was the one that really caught my eye, but the one that caught the nose in the palate was the one that really took on like the Girls Gone Wild flavor, which is almost like it's kind of citrusy, kind of maybe piney, but it really reminds me of like kind of grapefruity, like a light grapefruit. It's really nice. So
grapefruit herbs.
there was one of the anvils that had that, and then there was one of the other autos, and I'm not sure which one it was, but it was really frosty. It was the one that I think Spartan kept talking about had frost rails, and that was the one that caught my nose attention as far as the autos go, because they were all obviously furthest along, looking just about ready to be plucked, and great looking flowers, man. I mean, any day now, really. And the photo periods, like I said, I'm blown away to how far along they already were. You know, it has to be the soil they're using, the recharge microbes. I mean, he pulled away some leaf matter, and it was just nothing but springtails and
Oh yeah,
beneficial mites. All the good
using
food.
those Netafim sprayers too, which is cool. I was able to take some video of that. The nerd side of me got excited by it. Spartan says he has a pic on his Instagram as well. Cheers, Spartan. Bobby's widow is super, super short, but you know what, man? I really like the nose on that one. She may not give much in a bounty, but the nose that came through on it and the stickiness was there.
For a second,
Okay.
I didn't even think this joint was going to get lit.
Thinking about
might
it.
not actually. I'm still. I don't know if I have a lighter down here. I might actually have to go search out a lighter now. This is just a debacle trying to smoke a joint. We'll see. Yeah, man.
At least you got papers this week, bro.
I got papers. I got all kinds of shit right in front of me.
Got that
Except fire.
sweet MBGS merch on too, I see.
You like that? You like this shirt? Shout out to Sequence.
It's pretty snazzy.
We ended up getting a couple other ones for Mama Red and Daddy Red, but unfortunately the sizes were just a little bit off from what they normally wear, so we're gonna have to figure that out. We'll talk about that in production or something. Anyways, we'll figure that out. These shirts are great. I love the material and the texture. They're lightweight. They're not like that real heavy cotton. They're nice to wear, especially because they're black. And if you get them in the sunshine, they're going to be a little bit warm. But the material is a lot lighter, so you're not sweating through or anything.
The OG ones that we have are fucking like winter weight BDUs, man.
Oh yeah, they're like that, like the old
shit.
Champs t-shirts. Yeah, the good
bro.
old Champs shirts. I'll be right back, man. I need to find a lighter, else I'm never gonna get to smoke with you guys. I'll be right back.
Baby, come back. So cheers. I see we have 74 people with us. I'd love to go through and do some quick shout outs and thank yous and everything else to everybody. It's always good to see you. Kazu, Dro, Spartan, Beardman Farms. Tara is always here. Tara's Tears, baby. Smash Canvas, good to see you. T1 Productions, I appreciate that. And Rob, always coming through as well. Lori / Ick, or should it be Ick Lori? Lake Lori. Ick Hansen. I don't know. We'll come up with something. Delta 9, good to see you. Cannabis Driver has pulled up. Dankman Dan is still with us. DOG cheers. Infinity 420. Trey K from the DGC. What's up, brother? Yeah, man. So
I gotta give a shout out. So
Purple Vic,
I feel bad right now. I'm holding this little blue lighter for a reason. If Abolish Farms is in chat,
did you snake it?
I snaked it, dude. He was looking for his lighter the other day, and I was like, I don't have it, man. And I didn't think I did. I had your lighter, dude.
Dude, I got you. So
you wasn't your only one.
So you feel bad.
I didn't have a car.
When we did
get one, I feel bad if it was.
When we did the
Maybe
grow off, we had the
it.
beach party, and at the beach party, at the end when I was getting ready to leave, Spartan and I were talking up in the front. He was like, "Oh, bro, make sure you get some of this." So, grabbing some of the Mac 1, and I think I lit the joint. Well, apparently in my lighting, I snaked his dragon lighter. Got home, felt horrible, but was like, "Oh, bet I get to see him tomorrow, so I'm just gonna take it right back." So when we went into the back room, you know, where we're gonna do the judging and stuff, we had the table set up, and he already had his bag sitting there. So I just set his lighter standing up there, like on the table for him and shit. He was like, "Bro, I have a lighter just like that." I said, "That's your lighter, man." Cheers, Spartan. Always a good sport, man. Diamond Press, cheers. John Boy, cheers. Bag seat.
Yeah, that was the one thing being a cigarette smoker and working in a restaurant. You have to bring like 5 lighters, like 5 packs of cigarettes with you, because everyone would bum lighters and cigarettes. And
I always break off the top, the child safety part. That's how I get down. Not too many people do that anymore. So yeah, man.
It's good to know that it's yours.
But when you get with a bunch of smokers, you can't do the old thing like, let me look at the bottom of your lighter and see if it's got the tamp marks.
It's gone. It's gone. It doesn't matter what you mark it with. Once it's gone,
mark some kind of sticker on there.
No, nobody's got it. Oh, dude, there's 3 of them in the circle a second ago, and now nobody has a lighter. Okay,
baby, come back.
Get your own lighters, people.
Yeah, Sequence had a lighter leash on. It was fucking. We were teasing him at the girl on.
You need one, man. I had one on mine.
It's like the janitor's keys. You know, when you were a kid, the janitor's got that like real thing on his side with all the keys and shit.
Gotta have a lighter leash. I was using my hot plate just last week because I didn't have a lighter. I always have a lighter out there, and you know what? I have a lighter leash that I used to keep a lighter on at the farm. It would like hang on my kitchen. Sorry guys, I bumped my volume down. It would just hang on my kitchen table, and so I always had a lighter until one day I needed it probably elsewhere. Took it off the lighter leash. I don't even know where the lighter leash is, to be honest, and it's not out there anymore. So I went out there, forgot a lighter, and so I'm trying to use my hot plate. Same night I get the brown out. Guess what happens? Hot plate won't come up to temperature to light my damn joint. So I was SOL for a little while. It really sucks.
Because you don't have car cigarette lights anymore either, you know.
Nope. Not. I have one in one of my cars, but yeah, the other one I don't.
It's all about the crackhead grill lighter. At the table yesterday, Fresh Cut and his wife, when we were in the backyard, they had this big ass novelty lighter that looked like a big wooden match, and it was like the size of a drumstick, huge. I was like, yeah, nobody's walking off with that. So then later on in the sesh, Spartan went to try to light a joint, and it wouldn't come up. So, you know, he tried to scratch it against the table to get it to light a few times, but no dice. Now you
got matches you can just strike on the bottom of your shoe. Strike anywheres.
Dude, there's nothing like sucking nasty ass sulfur through. Ooh. It's rough.
Gotta let it burn down.
Gotta do something. Red's out back smacking the rocks together. You get that Everlight, man.
Magnesium start. Just give me magnesium start. I'll get a joint lit.
We got her going now, baby.
Give me a birch tree and a couple of pieces of flint and a rock.
I thought you would do the Miyagi hands and just light it that way.
Just use the force.
Oh, you speak of the force. Where is Abolished Farms anyway? He's probably knocked out. Speaking of knocked out, yesterday when
I took his lighter and he's had to resort to FSO for the last 3 days.
Can't fucking, yeah. Speaking of FSO, yesterday when Sequence handed you that really awesome thing of FSO. You're gonna hold her up for the folks there. You got her. The first thing Red did,
This one, this like
yeah,
25 grand. It's not that many, but it's like it's quite a few grand. I mean, got a little bit of weight to it. Decent amount. Oops, there it goes as it all depresses all over my floor. No, it decent amount here. I like the big syringe style.
it's easier to work with.
Not too bad. Yeah, it is. Those little syringes, they don't hold that much, and you get a whole bunch of them laying around. But the I like them because in a way, they're I don't know. I was able to kind of weigh out enough. I was able to kind of weigh out a certain amount and be able
Red
to
didn't weigh out shit yesterday when he was so happy he had already gotten his food. So he was sitting down, smashing his food, and Sequence dropped it on him. Red takes the cap off of it and proceeds to put FSO all over his fork.
Well, yeah. I mean, I got to be civil. We eat with fork and spoon, right?
That's what separates us from the animals, Red.
I only used my fingers after you guys took my fork away.
So going back to that beautiful, beautiful greenhouse, it was awesome when I walked in because I have seen it since its basic inception when they broke ground for it. The last time I was over there, they had just installed the exhaust system for it. And so, in going back this time, it was really awesome to see that it was absolutely filled with plants. And when I say filled, I mean like when you walk in, the first plant that you see is this just gigantic Mac 1. And then sitting next to that is a gigantic GMO. And then next to that is an even bigger Citro Glue. Just like wham, bam, bam. It's fucking sweet, man. So they were really cool. You could walk through, check everything out. And I just started basically working on some of those autos. You know what I mean? It's when you have that kind of canopy and that much vegetation, anytime that anybody is willing to give you a hand and not fuck your shit up, you probably would take it. So they were really nice. Yeah, see, like he's saying that it's nice that I've been able to see the culmination of the work. Yeah, man. But I just got into this space yesterday where I was just moving leaves, and just like forgot where the fuck I was. I was just a dude working on a plant, man. And then I realized it was quiet in there. And I looked around and I was like, oh shit, they're waiting for me to come out. They're like at the door, So I had to snap out of it and get back with the program. But it was really, really a great way to recharge my batteries on like all the levels, man. I had some great food, awesome conversation, great smoke, great people, and got to garden, man. So it's like a 5-star day.
Sequence in chat says if you want to check out any of the bits that we're talking about here visually, check it out on his Instagram. Sequence MI _3. Did I say corrected?
Yeah. Yes, it would be. It would be SEQUENC3 _MI on Instagram.
I was almost there. I was real close.
I got you, bro. I got you.
So yeah, check out some of those pictures. He said if you want to see me eating FSO off a fork, pop on that Instagram and check it out.
Now, I was telling you about the Spartan Grow Off, and so I have this humongous, pretty ass nug. Right there.
Or if you want to see me eat FSO off my finger, watch right now.
Daredeviling. So what do you have for hash time this evening?
The same old. Some Death Star,
the
some
same old.
Dementia, probably some Apollo 13. Maybe I'll do a nice little salad blend.
What did you think of the Death Star that you seen in the greenhouse yesterday?
I did a little stem rub on it. Oh shit, I'm gonna have to. I just spilled it, so I'm gonna have to eat more. Sorry. I did a little stem rub on it, and it smells incredibly similar, if not identical, to the same one I have. So I'm gonna say that we have the same cut. Right now. It's not like fully into flowers. So I can't totally test it, but from what
You
I
don't
saw,
have
it's
yours
pretty
outside, do
legit.
you?
I do. I have
You
one
do?
outside. It's just barely starting to flower though. It looks almost
Same as
right
that.
on point where he's at. Yeah,
Yeah.
right about where he's at. It's, I mean, barely starting to flower. You know, it's got four pistils. You know, coming off each side. So it's starting. It'll crown in a few more days. The but I mean, bushy. It just grows out. It grows wide. Doesn't really want to grow up. It will. It's gonna stretch a little bit, foot, maybe two, and then but it's gonna grow out a couple more feet. So I love Death Star, man. You know, it. I don't know if it drifted on me being in my propagation for so long, but I didn't notice any other genetics really drift. You know what I mean? Like as far as flavor, as far as the production of it is really what I've noticed drift is. Here's kind of what I think is going on with it. I think the Death Star is such a big producer that I'm getting a larger yield, and I'm not I'm not recognizing the amount of larf that I'm getting off of this massive amount of yield that I wasn't getting before because everything was just so much more compact and smaller. I have a bigger space. The plants are able to get bigger, and there's just a lot more shade. Um, maybe there's a management thing that needs to be done. Maybe I need to do a lot more pruning. Maybe I need to trim up the bottoms further. I don't know. I keep all the plants pretty much the same. Speaking of like multi-strain plant canopy management and things like that's something I noticed about in the greenhouse was I said it last night, but I'll say it again in case you missed the show. The live last night was the Mac and the GMO, two completely different structurally. I haven't grown either, but from what I hear, GMO stretches, Mac grows slow. Typically, one would overgrow, overtower the other. But they had them pretty much set even level. It's exactly what I want to see under a trellis, under a training net, under you know
But
light,
there were
under
no
whatever.
real giants in there that were just like, oh my God, look at that plant in the back corner. It was just that they had been pulled open and were wide, and they used the scrogs in there.
You want to see a nice, flat, even level canopy so that
Right.
none of them are shading and blocking each other out. And that's exactly what they had. Sorry, I lost the cat to this episode. So
Technical
walking distractions
difficulties
today.
on,
Yeah, I'm
on
just
Red
always
Cedar
getting
Farm.
distracted over here. Sorry, guys. I'll find it eventually. No worry. So,
Oh,
and else for hash, probably this FSO. We'll see how I'm feeling in another hour.
I told Spartan yesterday when I smoked this is his grow off, that it's just so incredibly smooth. I've been a bad kind of smoker for a long time, so I have a hard time with my lungs. Yet, pretty much everything that Spartan puts in, is very, very smooth and full flavor and everything else. So when it comes to asking for advice on what I need to do next, as far as my growing, I ask Spartan, and I know that I'm not alone. Yeah, well, you're right. The garlic storm was uh, a little bit bigger than the other ones, but you're right. By being in the middle, it wasn't that big of a deal. Doesn't really jump out.
I must have missed that one. I didn't pay enough attention. I'm sure I saw it. I probably didn't pay attention to what
It was in the middle, in
metric
the
I was
middle,
looking at. Oh, middle.
in the middle, middle. Yeah, yeah, I know. I went in there so many times with it yesterday. I just checked everything out.
Yeah, there was just so much to look at. I just
There's
wasn't
the
even paying
weird,
attention to
the one
names.
weird
It
sour
just got
melon.
to the yeah.
Like it flipped over and then flipped back, and whew, it's gonna be a beast.
I want
Look
to go
at now.
back
We said
and
garlic storms, and now Tara is all starry eyed in the chat.
I want to go back in like 3 to 4 weeks when they're swelling up and it's really funky in there. And all them flowers are putting
Don't
off all
worry,
them big fancy terps.
I have a feeling that we'll all get more than our nose full when it all has to come down. So
When it has to come down, when mine has to come down, when Abolish has to come down, we all have outdoors coming down. We're really gonna have to. We should just like rent a warehouse space so we can have a big trim party
cots.
with cots. We're gonna have to do like We're gonna have to plan a month, the entire month of November. Just take it. We'll do 6 weeks to Christmas.
Christmas is coming, folks. Christmas is coming.
Oh, don't say that, man. Not yet. Still got harvest season ahead of us. Sunflowers are still blooming, still going. I got a bunch that haven't even flowered yet. They're like 15, 16 feet tall right now. They're huge.
What?
Massive. Oh, dude,
Holy
yeah, they're
shit.
crazy. I got the American giants, so they're really big. I got some
like-
mammoths, and
they're
then I
like-
have some American giants.
They're like backyard giraffes, man.
Yeah, I got a cannabis plant that's 7 feet tall and barely throwing pistols. So she's gonna be 12 feet tall probably. So I gotta have something that's gonna.
Which one is that?
That's the Girls Gone Wild.
Gone
6 foot
wild,
fence.
all right.
Yeah, she's growing wild, man. She's gone wild. So
Tie that
you
bitch
know,
down. Just
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but I kind of want to let it go. I want to let it go. I want to see what it'll do. It'd probably bush out and maybe do a little something different. But I got other plants to mess with that. I like experimenting. You know, it's been a while since I've let a plant really grow and not keep topping. I only topped it like maybe once or twice. Usually during outdoor, I top like every couple weeks. I'll just top, so I get this real short, squat bush. Nobody can really see it. The other plants can kind of camouflage it really nicely. This year it's just kind of like I got a big garden. I'm just gonna grow some big plants, and
I love it though,
my
man.
neighbors have been cool the last few years, so you know, I'm just gonna roll with it again this year and see what happens. And if they're
I
cool
like-
again this year, I'm gonna expand my garden next year and just keep going with it and just keep making
Yeah.
my plants bigger and bigger every year.
I like those grape apes though, man. I like how well they're probably not as short now, but that would be an awesome way to just fill a space.
Well, did you notice how uniform they are, like comparatively, like with each other? That's one of the things I really like about them. You can fill a space with them. If you have, let's say, rack mount, you know, and you're working like a vertical system where you don't want your plants to stretch 2-3 times the amount that they're put in there at. If you want something that's going to stay short, if you want something that's got probably a short flowering period, they're great. Grape ape's great. It's not the most potent strain. You're not going to get 30% yield. You're not going to get 30% THC. You're probably going to struggle to get 20% THC, but you're going to get purple flowers. You're going to get great bag appeal. You're going to get terpenes, flavor. If you smoke 2 or 3 times the amount you normally would, you're going to get just as high if you smoke 30%er. You might even get higher because it's got hella myrcene in it. It's going to fucking knock you out.
Right.
This grape ape is actually a slightly narrow leaf effect.
Yes.
You know, it's got narrow leaves, but it also like can give you like the jitters for the first hour,
It's
half hour.
so fucking weird, dude.
And
Because
then it
it's
kinda
like
knocks you
goes
out.
against everything that I've always believed that grape
When I
ape was.
trim it, I have to stand up and take laps because I get anxious trimming it. Like it's
The
that
smell of it.
powerful. It's that powerful. It makes me anxious. Yep. I
Shit.
can't just sit there and trim it. I'm like, whoa, and I gotta like get up, move around. I get like claustrophobic
Now,
feeling.
You got
Yeah,
this as a
it's
clone
wild
from a
stuff.
dispo, right?
Yep. Local Ann Arbor dispo, one of the many dozen. I can't even remember which one it was.
It's so weird.
Dozens, I should say. Between Ypsi and Ann Arbor.
You've
there's
had
a
it
lot.
for how long?
2014, maybe I acquired it somewhere around that time frame. 2013, 2014. It was one of my first. Maybe it was like the second run of clones. I started kind of growing when I was doing an actual caregiving style and doing clones. Prior to that, when it was just personal, I was popping bag seeds, and I was a lot younger.
If somebody was
Well, yeah,
out there
serious it
looking
was.
for clones, where
Clones.
could they get them still? Is it, do you know anybody that has clones anymore as far as like in Ann Arbor? No.
I don't know, man. I don't know any. Everything that I know, I believe, is state regulated to the
Right.
point where they can't do that anymore. I mean, if you're going to find it,
That's-
it's going to be clandestine, I think, at this point, or medical. You have to be medical, you know. And you could do a gift. I mean, as a business, no, I don't know of any. As I mean, maybe you could find a caregiver. Maybe you could find somebody who's got clones. You know, it's going to have to be a personal thing. It's going to be a one-on-one not really transaction, but a gifting type of scenario, or transaction if you're a patient. You know, and you can.
I'm seeing sequences saying genotype A2 in Ann Arbor.
I did forget about them. I forgot about those guys. That is a spot. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
say that just because what
It's
if
a
you're looking for a
I
very
mean, I guess-
specific kind of medicine? You know what I mean? That you wanted to cultivate yourself. Oh, sweet. Spartan just said that they made it legal.
Strainly. I mean, I guess I could shout out Strainly. You know, I guess if we're gonna go the route that we're not non-licensed route, yeah.
Trey K, I've never heard of Clonify. I'm gonna have to look into that. Not that I'm in the need of clones. I've got packs I got to pop and shit, but
I thought you meant
I
like
just
licensed places, but
yeah. True Cuts probably. I mean, think about it. Okay, you're gonna spend $100 on a pack of seeds, and hopefully you find a keeper. But if you can buy a clone of something that's a proven fucking winner and not just some other caregiver's cast offs of the non-keeper phenos, it's. I mean, I don't know what's expensive.
well, that's why. I mean, that's why it
If
was.
it's your medicine,
I mean,
fuck
it
it.
was a no-brainer for people to pay $2,500 for a cut for so many years. I mean, people were paying 2,000, 5,000, who knows how many thousands of dollars
For those
depending on the
cushions,
genetics
the OG Kush.
for decades. You know what I mean? Because the value was worth it. Um, still worth that. You know, today.
Well, I mentioned this
Depending on what it
because
is.
I used to have to travel far and wide for clones myself. I either had to go to Flint or to Detroit. So, and then it was, hit or miss on what you were going to get. You couldn't really put in requests. They had so many different ones. Um, but I've gotten some fire that way too. A lot of my early medicine that I used was because somebody else was cool enough to put it into circulation by selling it as a clone to a dispensary. Um, Grapefruit diesel. We were talking about grapefruit terps earlier. Grapefruit diesel was some amazing daytime medicine for me, man. It had just enough pain relief, and it made my brain fog go away. And it was like, okay, let's fucking go. You're not in like a giddy, happy mood, but you're just like upbeat and positive, and let's get it.
Yeah, I didn't pay so for I didn't pay any attention to strain names from forever up until maybe 2014. Even through medical, I was like, dude, who knows what this shit is? Everything's a gimmick. People are hustling. Everybody's a hustler. It's all Kush. Everybody's calling everything Kush. Everybody's calling everything fire. It's all stupid names, honestly. Nobody really had real anything.
Shout out
White
to Lima
Widow,
Bean OG.
Brown, it's like, what is this shit? So you never really trusted anything you got on the streets. When the dispensary market kind of opened up, it was almost a different story. You kind of started to trust things a little bit more just because the bag appeal was a lot better, but still, it could have been anything. They would sort of describe that this is a sativa, but you'd smoke it and contemplate whether or not you're getting stimulated or not. So still, I was always just disregarding a lot of strain names for many, many years up until I came across like Granddaddy Purple and a couple of those other ones that my friends brought me into. And through like the network of family, I was able to like trust those genetic lines. And then I had to go through the wormholes and the rabbit holes of credibility. And I'm still to that way. I just won't go to like some dude who's selling seeds because
Right.
I don't know, dude. Who knows what he's been breeding with, and who else has been telling him that he's got Northern Lights #5 and it's bag seed off of Mexican brick. You know what I mean? And bag seed off of Mexican brick could
I feel
potentially
you.
look like Northern
And
Lights #5. You know?
and at the same time, I realized that that was the predominant thinking back then because I used to catch a lot of flack. I got my card in 2012, and I got it. I've been a smoker since I was 13, but I got it because I wanted to honestly use this in lieu of medication to treat what the fuck is wrong with me. So I spent a lot of hours. I already had insomnia as it was, so I spent all my time reading, seed seller shit and going to breeders things and thinking like just coming at it from a completely wrong fucking direction for a long time, trying to learn like, well, hazes are like this and Kushes are like that and this is like this, and the good thing for me is that since I have smoked so long, that I've had a lot of different types of cannabis, and it's just something I pride myself on. Is I would probably say that I try somewhere between 50 and 100 different things that I haven't had before a year. So I'm always looking for something that's going to help me, and clones especially, you know, uh, Trey K was saying that it's good to share clones with people, that you can trust, and it's a good way to back up your garden. And we that's like an ethos for us for the show, is that yes, we do a show together. Yes, we talk cannabis, but we are all genuine friends outside of cannabis. Like these are genuinely people that I love and my friends. So when Spartan gave me GG4, he knew that it was safe. um, Red recently gave me the Rainbow Driver. Shout out to Doc Dankenstein, who gave me the GMO. um, Much love to Sequence for the Citral Blue. Abolished and Miss C for the Skunk One and the Sour Melon. I mean, I got like fucking everything I have, man. So that's why it's hard for me to pop packs, because I have things that um, are what has been proven to be medicine for somebody else. And it works for me as well. But at the same time, my palate gets tired. So now I'm on that precipice. And I seen somebody earlier in chat, shout out to you. I didn't catch who it was or remember, but you were saying that you were trying to figure out what you were going to pop next. And I think as part of your time as a grower, that if you don't do it all the time, it's like a big deal. You know what I mean? Some people don't take cuts of anything and just, run it, try it, gone. Okay, next. Uh, it's a big deal in the sense of it's great to have choices instead of being at the mercy of the clone man or the Craigslist guy or what have you.
I stopped taking cuts pretty early on. I took like I said, like I got the Grape Ape, I got the Death Star, that was a cut. There was a couple more. Like I went to Genotype A2, actually that spot that Sequence shouted out in Ann Arbor, and I got like a whole load of OGs. San Fernando Valley OG, Ghost OG, Fire OG, True OG. God, dude, there's probably a couple more in there. I can't even think of what
You were
other
that
ones they were.
meme grower that's got
They
12
had them
different kinds
all.
of
Yeah,
cushions.
like they had them all, and I was like, I'm just gonna try them all. And like, I mean, honestly, dude, it was like $50 a clone. Like they were selling them for elite clones, so I was only trying to buy moms. I wasn't really trying to like buy runs of anything. I was like, all right, well, I'll just get one of each, a whole bunch of moms, and I'll wait them out. That's what I did. They ended up being so similar because they're all the same cut, grown and resold under different environments, pretty much, from my understanding. So, and then like recirculated, and then for whatever reason they epigenetically have changed. Or probably using those words wrong, but anyways, the what I ended up getting out of all of that was learning, and it wasn't from those clones specifically, and it wasn't from any other clones specifically that I can think of, was just getting dirty bad genetics, man. Just everything that I was trying to get in clone form, nothing was really working. So I started trying to go down the seed route. Genotype A2 was the first. I was not into ordering seeds online. I was not into any mail order or anything like that. So I got, this is still back, this 2000, what I'm talking about, when I started caring about strain names, 2013, 2014. And they so I got the Apollo 13 actually from them. I picked up a pack. It was maybe Brothers Grimm or something like that, and picked up a pack of Apollo 13. One of my buddies had a shop that was asking for Apollo 13, so I was like, all right, I'll try to supply Apollo 13 to these guys. So grew out Apollo 13, and it was funky, and had the gorilla arms, and I was all about it. So I kept the Apollo 13 as a keeper, held on to that one for since then. And
Still
ever
running.
since I've just been, and so ever since I've been on, the only other person that I've taken any clones from has been my best friend, and that was the Flow. That was a couple of others through the lines that I've gotten rid of through the years, but also the Granddaddy Purple. And the reason that both those stick around is because they were a good friend of ours who's no longer with us. So, and they're both just fire medicinal keeper cuts, and that's exactly what they are. That's what they're used for. Granddaddy Purple has been a great medicine. I bred with it, and so I got a ton of seeds with it that I'm happy to share and give away. So the the longer that I get into like growing and things, I have more of a fascination for pheno hunting out seeds and things like that. And just there's so many cuts and clones available out there. Like I want a way to. I don't want to say that I can have anything proprietary, because there's you know, I don't come up with any ideas as far as growing on my own. I take a whole bunch of different people's ideas and I kind of put them all together. But I say the one thing that I could do proprietary is grow, you know, certain phenotypes that nobody else has. So if I'm taking a bunch of clones from other people, there's nothing really proprietary about that. I want to set myself aside. I want to pop some seeds and
Sure.
find my own keepers and hold on to them, you know. And maybe there's some things that I'm not going to say I'm going to be selfish and hold on to because I will like offer off to anybody else, but I might have some restrictions on what they do with them, you know, something like that. Or
Right.
potentially, you know, just it depends. You know, some things just depend. Now, if it's some medicinal needs to get out there, it needs to get out there. You know, that's a
Well, I
different
think
story.
that's how I ended up with the rainbow. Is first of all, you know that I'm just me. I'm not doing anything else with it, and secondly, I've done nothing but howl at the moon for this shit since the first time I got to try it. And then when I seen it growing outdoors in your garden naturally, I was just like, man, really, really like this plant. So Red was like, hey, you know what? If you want them. So he gave me some outdoor cuts. I put them in my little quarantine. I did my sprays with things. That's the one thing is if you do could take clones from other people, if something happens, it's on you. It's not on them because you are the one that didn't quarantine it. You are the one that insufficiently treated it or prepared your garden for it. But it's those executive decisions. We do it every show, so it's executive decisions time as the grower. Do you
But like,
want to do it that way or the other way?
you know, if I were to give somebody the Granddaddy Purple or something like that, for example, I would have specific, you know, like it goes to people who like need it, have cancer, something like that, because that's the elements that it really is suited to help mostly. Sleep, depression, all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? Do they need what do they do? Do they need is it working? Things like that. Like it was one of the ones that I don't know for whatever reason he really didn't want to get out there. You know, it wasn't because he wanted proprietary or anything like that. It had to do with like the fact that it was a low key keeper cut that not a lot of people had in kind of existence, you know. And I don't know if it had to do with like the network that he got it through, whatever it was, but it was like one of those high rate $2,000 $2,500 cuts that was being circulated. That's probably a lot that had to do with it. I'm sure it came from, like through word of mouth. Hey, this thing was really fucking expensive. You don't give it to anybody. Somebody's going to try to make a bunch of money out of it. You know what I mean? Type of thing. So I like to respect rules that other people give to me. So that's the only thing.
Yeah, I don't care what your reasoning is. If it was given to me in a certain spirit, then in that spirit, as a fellow grower, you know what, man, I'm just gonna respect your wishes. Now, somebody may
Exactly.
come at me and be like, Skilbo, this shit is like really, really, really good for me. You know what? I may reach back out and talk to Red again and say, hey, you know what? I got a guy that's a friend of mine and he's blah, blah, blah. And then let them talk it out. It may still be a solid no, but then again, he let it go to me.
Here's what I like to do. I like to have multiple genetics on deck, and not a bunch of bad genetic. Like I like to have multiple really good. Like I want to have so much stuff that somebody wants it all. That way, you can have something proprietary and keep it to yourself, and you can also give away some stuff that's really awesome.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's a great
You can
point.
do the best of both worlds. You know,
Right.
and
But
so
every grower has their own head stash.
pop seeds. You know, just keep popping seeds. Collect clones from people. Keep stuff aside because it's medicine and somebody needs it. You know, hold on to it if you have to hoard it and like keep it under a low dim lit light and keep propping it back until it's time to get into rotation. I do that sometimes. Like I talk about the Death Star. I might grow it once a year. I could potentially grow it once every 3 years if I wanted to.
Okay,
You
so
know what I
let's
mean?
let's
I
let's
can do
pause
stuff
for a
like that.
second because that's a great breadcrumb. You and I have talked about this before, but we haven't done it in a while. So the point that Red is making is you can still keep genetics. I'm letting him roll his joint here. You can still keep genetics without flowering them out and counting against yourself. So if you take a clone of, let's talk about the Death Star, I can grow it up into a single plant as big as I want. And then when it gets too large for whatever size or space that I'm working with, I just simply take a cut off of that and I root it. And then I let it do the exact same process again. Wait till the plant's completely healthy, green, bam, bam, bam. All my processes are clean and sterile. Take a clone of it. And now, by that point, a year and a half has gone by. Maybe I want to try that again. Maybe I'm holding on to it because I'm searching through a new pack of seeds and I'm looking for like a crazy ass male Tropicana cookies that I want to go back and hit this female Death Star with because I think it could really be, like some silver bullet medication for me. Who knows, man? But that's that executive decision and still playing within the numbers and everything working without having to keep flowering these plants out or using too much space. Okay, Red, are you ready? Damn, that was pretty good timing, man.
I think I am ready. One more. I had to get one more flick of Abolished Farms Little Blue Bick.
The stolen blue bick.
The little stolen blue bick.
Sequence says he keeps trying, but he has 0 of Red's cuts.
Dude, okay, so horror story, man. You know when he came over to pick up those flood trays, I was gonna let him snag some bottoms off of those outdoor grape leaves, and I forgot to tell him to grab some when we were back in the garden. So
I know how much he likes that one too.
Yeah. It'll be getting into production.
It's not
soon,
gone.
And no, once I get these plants up and running, I get my mom's up and running, I'll have plenty of clones. I'm gonna try to make those available. Grape Blue, I might make that available. I don't know. Nothing that I have is really proprietary right now. I might find something.
I really like the dry sift from that Grape Blue. So damn smooth and flavorful, man.
It drops sand, man. It's
yes.
I mean, you snip it when you're trimming, and it like smacks you in the face with crystals, dude. It'll put your eye out. It's great stuff. I love it. It's just got that great fruity funk. It's frosty, crystally. I don't have any in flower right now, but I have some that's supposed to be going into late veg, so I got to jump on that so we can have some in a couple of months. I have some in flower. I have some out in my outdoor right now, so we'll see how the outdoor works. So that should be similar.
See, Jack is backing us up, and he says he holds cherry pie and rarely ever flowers it. He pops seed every run and keeps that one in his library. Exactly, man. But that's not something you think about as a first-time grower or somebody new to the game. You know what I mean? You think, I don't want to break the law. I don't want to have too many plants. Well, I got a Spartan kick this one up out of here. Spartan said, then take a cut, lazy. Red, you said you were just over there. Now, here's a good point. He could literally take a cut off of that, even though it is flowering, and it's still a way to save those genetics. It's just going to go wacky when you put it under the different light cycle. It's going to get ugly.
I just bottomed them today.
Wah, wah, wah. I guess you're getting a bud site, bro. She's going to be a little hardier, a little more green.
I have some clones running. I'm gonna have a crop of them, and they're gonna be going out to production, and they'll have plenty of cuts I'll be able to take from them.
Said he's triggered.
What's that?
Sequence said he's triggered now.
Could have had it so long ago.
She could have been flowering.
Skilbo, yours got roots in like
5 days,
before you even
dude.
got home. I don't even think you had them home, and you were like,
man.
I'm like on 94, dude. These things are sprouting roots.
They were beasting, man, beasting. So I have 2 of those that I kept, the 2 strongest ones, and they are doing really, really well. And I have a Primal Punch from Dank Man Dan. If he hasn't become Old Man Dan and passed away in his sleep there tonight, they'll hear this. I should trigger a response from him if he's still hanging out.
We could give him little subliminal messages while he's sleeping with his computer on. Late sesh, 11 p.m. Dank Man Dan.
Every Monday night. Let's see, talking about flavors. Hey man, sometimes I gotta read the chat too.
What flavor do you get off the Rainbow Driver? Because I can't pick it out. When it's like growing, it's kind of like a gassy gassy vanilla. I
don't have it in flower yet to know. I just go off of the finished.
Just plethora of plethora of like what am I thinking? Like
A corn you
forest flavors. It's got like it's gas and earth.
It's
So
a
like a lot of gas and
cornucopia
earth.
of cannabis flavors. Man, I
No
know that
fruit
when I had it,
in it at all.
eh, no, it's got that. It's just that
It's a
dosey
little
dough
sweet.
flavor.
It's
Yeah,
like it
it's
has a
sweet.
sweetness to it. That's the vanilla. Yeah, that's why I call it vanilla at least because it's
I
a little
rolled
sweet
up that
for
one
sure.
over at Abolished House, and that was the first time you flowered it out. So, and I rolled up a big fucking joint of it and sat there. I'm like the new way of rolling joints is to roll them really really loose so that they burn. But sometimes old habits die hard, and when you get older, you get the rough fingers. But I rolled this, pinky size thing of Rainbow Driver, and it burned for like 45 minutes, and I was just medicated, man. Pushed back, medicated. Like Jesus Christ, man, this is fucking awesome smoke. So ever since then, I've been on the Rainbow Driver bandwagon, and when I tasted it, I was like, this has fucking dosey do somewhere in it because I really just get that flavor that comes through, and I can't define what that flavor is either.
It's in there. It's in there.
Yeah,
You might be getting. I don't know, man. You might be getting the Skittles. You might be getting. I think the Skittles is in the Moombo. I think Moombo is Skittles and Dozy Dough. And then what's going on is it's the rain. It's Sunday Driver. Well, Sunday you could be getting Sunday Driver. Sunday Driver's probably bringing the gas. And then there's Sunday Driver with the Moombo. So and then the Moombo is the what did I say it was? I said it was Dozy and I already lost my thoughts. So whatever I
Skittles.
said it was Skittles. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'll mute my thing here and dig through this goodie bag because we are coming up on hash time, folks. We've got 7 minutes, so get your pipes ready.
Speaking of Moombo and that whole archive thing, Archive did do a drop recently. I guess I'll get that out there. I won't try to hide that as a secret or anything. Archive's got a drop out, and they did a whole bunch of Moombo strains. So, I highly suggest you jump on that if you know of any seed banks. Speakeasy Seed Banks one. I don't care if they sell out. I haven't gotten any off this line yet, but I got so many archive packs that I got to get through. I'll let you guys get the new drop.
When you were saying earlier about not having to worry about proprietary things because you have so many different things that everybody else is interested in. I've been thinking that's just kind of been rolling around in my head when you said that, and I realize it's exactly where you're at, and that's where you really want to be as a grower. Is you don't want to just have to be relying upon this one pack to get you by, and to not think that you're going to become somewhat, build up a tolerance to it, or not like it as much, or feel that it leaves it lacking in some other department that you've been relying on. So it's nice to have, 3 or 4 different packs that you've got on hand that you can pop at any given point. And it's nice for them not to be, all the same thing. So you don't want a bunch of Dosey crosses or a bunch of Kush crosses. But I say that, and the next things that I'm working on is, shout out to Jack Greenstock, is the Blue Dream. And now that I am harvesting, I am going to be able to move things along in the conga line, which is going to allow me to free things up to finally get to popping some beans. So I'm really, really glad that I have the Fem beans of the Blue Dream from him, and I have the Fem beans of the Blue Sunset by Ethos that Sequence gifted me a while back. And what I'm looking for, and I'm shooting both barrels on this one, is I really just want to find a blue keeper. And going back to clones and talking about blues, since I'm doing it all at once, is shout out to Dro Grows. I have his blue gelato clone that I got at the grow off. So, and it's doing well. And with that, I'm going to grab something to drink because I've definitely got cotton mouth. Take it away,
Hit it,
Red.
Scobo. I sure will. I might as well answer High and Tight's question for everybody who's asking me the difference between Rainbow Driver, Sunday Driver. I don't know. Honestly, have not tried Sunday Driver. Maybe somebody in chat does though, so that's kind of why I'm answering that like this. If anybody does know, like maybe what the flavor profile of Sunday Driver is, in my what I read or what I thought about it is that it was really like more of like a gas or a like a OG type of strain. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's kind of what I get off of the Sunday Driver, and it's kind of where I was thinking it was getting that from. So otherwise, I also have a pack of Sunday Driver from Canorado, but I have yet to pop it. So I may find out in the future personally, and we'll actually be able to compare them. Otherwise, I can't do so. I think my friends may run it at their dispensary, so I might be able to go check it out through them. Or maybe when you guys come into town, maybe I can send you their way, and also provide you a sample of the Rainbow Driver to try out yourself. Maybe we can do that. But yeah. Narwhal, you're welcome on the Earth OG. The Earth OG again was a mixed homogenized blend of I don't know what year, maybe 2016, 2007. No, it wasn't that
Ooh,
long ago.
the knockout
2018,
punch?
2019, something like that.
The knockout punch is 18.
I don't know. The Earth OG. The Earth OG. It's been a nice sleeper for most people. It got processed a couple years ago. Not a couple years ago. It got processed maybe last summer. Before
Sequence said it was around like November.
maybe 24 months. Yeah, it might have been a couple years ago. Might have got processed a couple years ago. Lingering, man. You know, I gave some away last year, and maybe got in the spring. Maybe it's been 18 months. I don't know. I'm gonna keep changing my story, so I'm just gonna quit. So, anyways,
Red.
anyways, I had them labeled up and everything. You know, it's just my patients aren't into doing dabs and stuff like that.
2 minutes
So
to
at
hash time?
least at the time they weren't. What do you got going on, Skilbo? 2 minutes to hash time there.
Yeah, man. So I have the girl off pipes that we were using. Thank you, Sequence, for these. And in it, I have some of the. Which one is this? This is. I don't know what the flower is. And I'm using some GG4 and Skunk 1 scissor hash as my topper on this.
I'm just going to shout out Jack Greenstock because he gave me a little answer about the Sunday Driver. He's gotten grape gas, and then he's gotten meaty terps on the Sunday. Some have gotten more apple and citrusy notes from the Fruity Pebbles OG. Fruity Pebbles
think I'm
OG,
more-
I believe that the fire cut or whatever like you want to shoot for is the Fruity Pebbles OG dominant version of Sunday Driver, I believe.
I had the other one.
Don't quote me on that either, so I don't know.
Yeah, I tasted the other one. The grape gas. Look at this, man. That's just nice, isn't it? Put that right up on there.
I wonder if the grape gas is the one they use for the grape pie, and possibly. I have grape pie also, so I'm not sure. I don't know if grape pie. I don't know if Sunday Driver was used on grape pie. Yeah, it was. Sunday Driver.
I wonder
grape pie
what
and,
the
I think it was grape pie and
probability
Dozigo or something like that.
I wonder what the probability of that would be to get. Uh-oh. And with that, it is Jack, plug your ears.
Hash time.
Hash time. What do you got?
Hash time. Dude, a plethora, man. I don't know. All that talk about grape glee, I'm gonna open up this grape glee and see if I have some luck. I have, dude. It looks like a sample. All right, that's gonna get mixed in. I'm gonna go back to December with. I don't have much of this Apollo 13 left either, and I'm gonna do that because I have some Apollo 13 flower, and it will combine well. Dude, for whatever reason, I feel like the Girls Gone Wild dry stuff triggered some anxiety with me. I'm gonna stay away from this one.
Okay.
Yeah. And I have been staying away from this one.
But that could be interesting to make some oil out of.
It might be good for somebody else. Like the flower was always solid for me. You know what I mean? The flower was always great as a concentrate, and maybe it's just the way things are going with the year and everything else. I've tried it a couple times, but it seemed like every time I've tried it, I've kind of had like near panic attack mode. So we'll see if it was that. I don't know. Maybe one of these days I'll try it again when I'm feeling really good and I know that I'm not gonna have that kind of a issue. And then if I do have that issue, it'll narrow it down. I don't mind experimenting like that sometimes. If I can figure out what's gonna work, but I'm not down to deliberately induce panic attacks either all the time. That's not fun.
You see High and Tight's working with that Earth OG.
Yeah, that's what I was shouting out. I was starting to explain. That's what it was. I think I was starting to explain what was going on. I kind of trailed off on that when hash time came around, but that was like a mixed blend from whenever it was, like 2018 or something like that. I had some buddies that had a local uh, had some local guys process, so they did a great job. I don't know if my buddies did it or if they were doing work with Element, and I don't know if Element did it for them or not, but it was something. So I don't know. They did a good job. They had a great test result. Somebody's got it on the back of their container. Narwhal, somebody. It was up there, like 68%. I don't know, THC. Maybe it was higher. Maybe that was a cannabinoid percentage. I'm not sure. Not that anymore. I'm sure there's a CBN ratio in there that's pretty high, being that what I say was 18 to 24 months here. 18 to 24 months old. I almost said months, years old. Starting to get, I think the FSO is starting to kick in, so that's good. So it's crumble. I'm pretty sure that it was made with. I'm pretty sure it's butane blasted. Closed loop. Done professionally. Uh, they make very very good products. I'm pretty sure they're a licensed processor now. So at the time, I'm pretty sure it was pre everything else. Just everything was straight medical. And then it came back as a homogenized mixture. The reason it got the name Earth OG, and this is kind of where I'm getting to. Sorry about this long trailing story. Is passed around to a whole bunch of people. Everybody kind of smoked it and smelled it and sniffed it and whatever. It's earthy. Yeah, whatever. Someone got a pine. Someone got like a nut. Someone got just a little bit of everything. So me and my buddy who actually like got it processed, I was like, well, I'm probably gonna give you some of it. What do you want to call it? And we were just called it Earth OG. So no exciting story. That's where we got it. And I'm pretty sure that even after I labeled it, I looked up something. And I think that there's an Earth OG out there. So it's not that Earth OG. Just a heads up. But it was a finite batch. You know what I mean? It's gone now. And there it is. That's the story of my Earth OG. But everybody seemed to like it, so I appreciate you all for the compliments. It's just a homogenized flour. I always like to say, quality in, quality out. So it doesn't matter how old it is. I wanted to get into that too because talking about age, I mean, we still got plenty of time, so let's get into that. I picked up rosin press recently, sorry. And my plan is to I'm gonna do some fresh batches, obviously, when I have the material. But I have a lot of material that's been, we'll just say, in storage, right? It's been in cold storage, dark storage, tote storage, basically bottoms, leaf trim, a lot of the good stuff. It's got plenty of trichomes on it. No leaves, no browns, no stems, none of that. Just my trimmings, you know what I mean? And my smalls. C grade. Some of the stuff that I would use when I quit smoking cigarettes. And I'd trim it up and I'd roll myself a pack of joints and I'd smoke that throughout the day. It wouldn't get me as ripped, but it would do the trick, and it would also curb my fixation smoking, right? So I go through sorry, I'm gonna light this joint. Scuba, help me out. Where we at? I lost you too. I'm trailing off. I'm sorry. The FSO's kicking in. You're muted. I'm sorry.
Bitch, I was muted. We were talking about the FSO and the rosin press and aged hash.
The aged hash. So, all right. There we go. Lighting this joint distracted me. See? All day. I still haven't got my hash going because I don't have a hash pipe.
I had muted myself so that I didn't cough
so
during hash time, but Red was on such a roll. I had fucking gotten high and forgotten I was muted there. So
I know.
Yeah, man.
Whatever. I'll have to roll it in a joint. So, anyways, so all my old storage hash, I'm gonna try to. I don't know
try
if
to
I'm
press
gonna
it?
run bubble. don't know if I'm gonna do bubble up, not the dry material, but I'm going to either. I don't think I'm gonna do bubble. I think I'm gonna do dry sift. I think I'm gonna pull a dry sift run off of the old material. By old material, I mean probably through 2019. I don't think anything of 2018, but probably most of 2019 material. And I won't homogenize anything. I'll do like single strain. So
Okay.
I'll grab like all the different bags. So for example, I'll just use Granddaddy Purple for example. There's probably a March run. There's probably the June run. There's probably an August run, and there's probably like an October run or something like that. And there's probably one or two, Ziploc bags of each, uh, various sizes. So I'll collect all of those and I'll homogenize it, mix it all up, of the different age groups throughout that season of the year. There's going to be different cannabinoid ratios because of the aging and the degradation, and I'm going to mix it all up, and then I'm going to do my extraction process, and then I'm going to press it. So I'm going to have more of a full spectrum, I suppose, medicine.
Right.
The color's probably not going to be that great, but I'm not looking at it. I'm smoking it. And I know that it's good material. Like I said, quality in, quality out. I'm not using any browns. I'm not using any dust. I'm not using any bugs. I'm not using any pesticides or anything like that. So there shouldn't be any reason that there's discoloring due to contamination. It should be discoloring due to aging, which I'm not worried about. So the aging is something that I'm curious about. You're right. And I'm thinking that it's going to work. So that's kind of my idea. That's kind of my mindset.
Okay, so you're talking about doing this.
Some older stuff, and I don't really care what the color is because it's my product, and I kind of know what I'm working with. So, and then we'll smoke it, and if it's good, then we just won't look at it.
So what are you going to press at? Do you have a time and temperature in mind?
Nope, I've never done it before. I'm going to take tips and tricks from all you professionals that I've been learning from. Shout out like Dankman Dan, Michigan Medicated, and
who I would listen to too?
Select Phenotypes and all those guys in chat, man. I'll just get tons of tips from everybody.
Go check out, shout out, and if you didn't get to check it out, he was on a previous Bro Show Live, is Pedro. He has been doing it for a long time.
I was gonna shout him out. His Instagram right now is running a sale or promotion or maybe a auction for was it rosin evolution bags or something like that. But anyways, that's the same brand that my local grocery store happened to have, and the same brand that I happened to pick up. So it seems like maybe I might be on the right track for at least a quality pack of bags. So at least maybe that's a good start. So I just went with whatever the grocery store had. I wasn't really looking. So that's the same brand that I'm going to start with. So if I have good results, I'll probably continue with it. But if Pedro's somebody who's using it and he's promoting it,
exactly.
Maybe it's a good product. So pretty sure it was Rosin Evolution. So I'm gonna give them a try and start from there. And I'm gonna take tips and tricks from anybody and everybody who kind of has them for me along the way.
Exactly.
And you know what? I'm just going to run material and practice and perfect my technique. And then as more material comes down, I'll continue to practice and perfect my technique.
Well, that's the nice thing is that it's not like you are a skimpy grower and you're working with 2 ounces and you got to make it work, or you're running 1 or 2 harvests a year, so you have time to work on this. And I think it could really it's a cool ride to watch, you know what I mean, where you see somebody who's a good grower and then you find out, oh wow, they're a hasher too. So then you get to try their concentrates, and then they're like, well, I need to get a freeze dryer. No, I need to get a press. I need to, and there's just that evolution and that craftsmanship you start to see in the work is awesome. Jack is saying that Rosin Evolution makes great stuff from press bags to ice water hash bags. They're good people. Met them here at Can Have Biz Con and SD. So there you go. Jack Grainstalk approved.
I'll accept Jack Grainstalk approved. I'll take that.
He's one of my authorities.
Review for sure. Scuba, I'm gonna step off and go grab a pipe, dude. I really want to burn some hash with you guys.
Right on.
I feel left out for a second. I don't know. I'm looking around like I do have one. As much as I feel like I keep going back to the refrigerator, like you're hungry and there's nothing to eat, you know, and you keep going to the refrigerator to look. That's what I've been doing here for like the last 20 minutes. I keep
You know what
looking
that
around.
is? It's
Oh,
not that you keep
I know
going
it's
back
not
to the
here.
refrigerator because you don't know what's in there. It's you don't know if you're willing to eat it yet. That's why you keep going back. You know what's in there. You're just like, are you willing to eat that yet? No. Close the
I got a
door.
piece of cheese, a pickle,
And a boiled
an
egg.
egg.
A boiled egg. And a butter pad.
All right, I'm gonna go grab a pipe. Right back. Pass the mic to you.
There you go. I am going to shout upwards and shout out. Dro, Manic Mouth 420, Trinity, cheers. Manic Mouth, and let's see, we're gonna go up. Just moved down me. I'm a fucking dumbass. And a high on. Chicha B, welcome, cheers. Who else have I not seen in here? You never know. That's some really good finger hash that I just had. Like I've said, I was doing the GG4, and I knew when I put the plants into flower that I was going to run into trouble because when they got under the new lights, the amount of stretch on the plants, as far as not like they stretched, but just like solid beasting growth to go from weak lights to those. Um, the GG4 shot up like equal to the lights. And basically by week 7.5 or so, the weight on the buds was so much that they just all basically started to just fall down, fall down, fall down. So I had arranged them all so that there was nothing really laying on anything else. But the pain in the ass in the harvest is having to basically clip the point right by the net and then to figure out what is overlapped on what and to keep taking it off and then just doing the quick rough finger trim where I remove the fans and non-sugars and then hang. Welcome back, Brett.
I'm back, Scuba. I'm back, chat. Cheers, everybody. Oh, let's see here. I decided to get this. What is this? I was at the local grow shop.
Nice.
Same
That's
place.
kind
I
of
got
a
the bags.
it's like a Spartan pipe.
Similar, yeah.
You know what's funny is I have one that's like that,
His
but
is
where
a
yours
lot
is longer, mine is more like a boot, but it has like the same color and stuff on that. I use that as a
I've
hash
always
pipe.
been a
tip.
fan of them. I've had this one for years, but it's been really dirty. I don't have a. I've always been a fan of those like really long, but I like Sherlocks.
Right.
And I like this Sherlock, and the reason that I like them, and I like the long stem on them, is because it kind of cools the smoke a little bit more. You know, get those real hot hits with those little short chamber pipes. You know, I like little short spoons. You know, they're nice to toke on, but I like Sherlocks, and I like Sherlocks just because it's just kind of like the aesthetics of them. You know, it's just kind of nice to be able to like. Same deal with like the round bottom bongs, and same reason I like those. You know, a lot of it's just like it's just aesthetically pleasing to just kind of sit and smoke and chill.
Yeah, I love the chillums, and I've always had a soft spot for well-designed steamrollers. The Sherlocks, I've got 3 or 4 of those. I have a gigantic Spartan style one too. Red and I have always talked about
Good
the
old wizard
mythical, the mythical hole pipe. You know, with the ash pipe with the hole is not in the bottom but up in the top of the chamber.
Glass blowers, get at me. I need a hash pipe.
There you go. You put the hootie hoo out there. Damn, check out us hungry over here. We were talking about shitty ass stuff in the fridge, and now we're talking about some amazing white cheddar popcorn.
White cheddar popcorn.
All right, what's it gonna be?
I'm opening up the Apollo 13. See if I can.
I like that one.
See if I can do it. Oh, that's a little too much. How about there? not much left, so I'm gonna go into it. I have a batch of Apollo right now that I'm able to, well, that I'm currently like in process. I'm in the process of trimming and getting out to patients. So once I get done with that, I'll go through the bottoms of that, and then I think I'm gonna keep that one a fresh source one. I have plenty of Apollo 13 from past runs that I'm going to run. Apollo 13 happens to be a really nice sifter.
It's a pretty color too.
It has a nice yield when you're trying to run hash with it. It has a beautiful color. It's like it's light, kind of golden. I think it's golden.
Thought I had it there, but
Really
that's
nice.
not the one. I think this is the Death Star that I have. The
The
Death
Death
Rattle.
Star's always been really like kind of green, and I don't know if it's that the trichomes are so small or whatever's going on that there's just a lot of there's a lot of plant matter getting in or what. But the Death Star's always been kind of dark, like extra contaminated, and maybe it's another thing, just part of the yield. I don't know. I really have no idea. Maybe I whipped it too hard. I don't know. But
Maybe I
even when I
whipped
dry
it too hard.
well, yeah, I mean, when I'm doing the bubble and whatnot. So the dry sift on the Death Star has a green tint to it. So maybe it also has to do with like I'm saying, the size of the resin head, contamination, and it being the fact that it's on a 150 micron screen. Maybe if it had something like a 90 micron screen or a 110, maybe it would lighten up a lot more and I wouldn't get as green of a color.
What do
So
you
maybe-
have? Like what bags? Or
I don't know, man.
screens?
I have full mesh bubble dude bags, some off-brand Amazon pickup.
It's
Cheap
like a
deal,
5-bag set.
20, $25. Probably a 5-bag set, yeah. I'm probably only gonna use like 2 bags, 3 bags, and a wash bag. And then let me think. I'll probably use like a hamper bag or something for a wash bag. That way I don't destroy my 220s. You know what I mean? Sometimes I used to use the 220s, but I think I'm gonna start using like hamper bags, or they make these like they're not biodegradable, but they're like biodegradable or reusable, like grocery vegetable bags. They're like probably 180 or 200, 250 micron mesh, something like that.
Nice.
Similar to those. What are those like nut bags you were talking about?
Oh
long
yeah,
time
the
ago.
nut milk bags.
Nut
Yeah.
milk bags. They're real similar to that type of stuff. Or I was also thinking about even using laundry bags, something with a little bit of it's got a little bit more of a hold to it, but it's going to hold bigger product if you're using Nug or something like that. You know what I mean? It's going to save your bags. So
Yeah.
you could try using something like that, or it's going to hold trichomes and prevent you. I don't know. Maybe it'll just get dirty. So maybe it won't work.
And what do you wash in? Like
No,
what
it's worth
size
trying.
container? A 5-gallon bucket then?
5-gallon bucket, 5-gallon bags. Probably gonna dry sift with them. Probably just gonna load them up with the material and just bang
Shake
on
them over.
like a drum, and dry sift with the bubble bags, and
Nice.
then run it that way. Yeah, I think we do that. We'll see how it goes, because I mean I've done the screen deal, but that's a 150, and I get a lot of contamination with that. And if I'm gonna
Yes.
press and do rosin, I want
Yeah.
a little bit less contamination. I want a little bit more of a pure product. And then what I'll do is I'll take the 150 higher, 150 to 220, and I'll take that. I'll use it for my food grade. I'll take that and I'll soak it in alcohol, or I'll put it into coconut oil, or I'll put it into whatever else, and I'll make my tinctures, and I'll make my edibles, and I'll make my FSO and all of that. Especially with soaking in alcohol, because like put a bunch of food grade bubble hash or dry sift or something into an alcohol wash, a little bit goes a long way.
So what makes it food grade?
The fact that there's a lot of contamination in plant material, to me, makes it food grade. It's a little bit more full
More
spectrum
stalk than head.
in my eyes. More stalk than head. There's still enough trichome material. There's enough stuff that you didn't wash through that you're going to get medicated effects from, and you're getting lots of cannabis, you know. And if you do stuff the way that I do, or I don't dicarboxylate my edibles, I don't dicarboxylate my FSO, I just long cook everything. You're getting some, you might even be getting some acids of the plant, which I also like because that also keeps it even more full spectrum, because I do believe that the acids of the plant also help your body even more than just fully dicarboxylated cannabis and getting high. I think that there's more of a mind, body, and spirit type of a tone. So you got to take care of the body as well as the mind, you know.
So go into that long cooking. What does that mean? What's the temperature?
Sub boiling. I do a double boil. So the water. So I put a dual boiling pot on the stove. I guess you do a pot of water that boils, and then you put I don't know, another bowl or a pot. In my case, a Pyrex container because it's nice heavy glass, and I put that inside of a boiling pot of water, sort of boiling pot of water, and I put my oil in there, or I put my butter in there, or I put my whatever, whatever your carrier oil is. 1 second, I'm gonna fire this bowl.
Red coming through with that those hash little bits tonight. I like this. It's like he's ready to solve a fucking crime, doesn't he? He's ready to tell us who the culprit was.
I need some clues. Give me the clues. All right, so
Shit.
I don't let the butter boil. Don't let the oil boil. Don't let the butter boil. Yeah, okay. So I don't, but I do let the water sort of boil. You got to monitor it because the water's going to evaporate. You got to add water. Don't burn your kitchen down. Don't
So
set
you're
your
using
butter
like
on fire.
a candy thermometer then?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean,
Or are you using the
Huh.
gun?
no, neither. I'm just,
Yeah, I'm just fucking feeling it.
well, no. I mean, it really, if you keep the water on a simmer, you know, your butter's you're not gonna burn it. You're
Right.
not the whole. I mean, at most you're gonna get 212. Water boils at 212. So if you keep it below 212, right, you keep it simmering or something. You're gonna stay in the 170 to 200 range. Most dicarboxylations, I think, are above 212 anyways.
Yeah.
Now I've checked it with the laser. I've checked it with a regular thermometer and all of that. So yeah, you're sitting at about 170 to 190. That's also with alcohol. I want to say has been sitting at 170 to 190 also in a double boil. Sorry, I'm thinking about that one, but yeah, somewhere in that area. So if you look at a chart, you're like, oh, that's not going to dicarboxylate. No, not really. Not in an hour. Not in 20 minutes.
Right.
But anyways, I cook for like 4 hours. I cook for 8 hours. You know, sometimes I sit there and just do it all day. With the alcohol, you kind of have to because it takes that long for it to evaporate.
Yes.
But in that amount of time, the product that you put in the alcohol does dicarboxylate. And I have that proven with test results that have no acids left in the oil. And I didn't dicarboxylate prior. So that the no acids left in the oil tells me that there had been full dicarboxylation process happening with at least that specific test sample, but it was a homogenized batch, so should have worked out well. Okay, so what are we talking about? We're talking about material. We're talking about carrier oil, making an edible or a tincture or something. I'll just put the material in there, and then I'll strain it afterwards. I'll strain it through a cheesecloth, or I'll strain it. Yeah, I like to use cheesecloth, and I like to just layer it. When I was younger, I would try to do coffee filters, and that made a mess, and B takes a really really long time. So cheesecloth, big mess. Cheesecloth works out good. Get some rubber gloves, squeeze it out,
You
and
know,
try not to get any green material in there.
shout out to Eagle Gardens. He was the one that mentioned to me to get a jelly strainer. You know what I mean? Where it's got like the legs and you put the bag over top of it. You could keep your Pyrex, right underneath it, whatever you were trying to strain through. And those are pretty hardy as well as the nut milk bags. I started
I
off
like to
using
use-
the cheesecloth too.
I like to go cheesecloth, and then I like to go like some kind of like a spaghetti strainer. Usually, it's like I like to use a mesh screen because it's a full screen, not just a colander. Is that the right word? Just
Yes.
like a bowl with the holes in it. But something that's actually like a mesh screen type of this
Like
strainer.
the pointed cap ones that you use in
And
restaurants.
yeah, and then from there, I actually like to go over a funnel, and then or perfect world, if you go into the canning department, they make canning jar funnels, and it's a wide mouth funnel, which I like to use because that's
I
the
have
size
the
of a
green
wide
one.
mouth jar.
Yeah.
Yep. And so, little green one. So you get a little nice little 6 inch, 4 to 6 inch top funnel, and then it goes down to like wide mouth jar size, or you can get narrow mouth, small mouth jar size. But it's not a little oil gasket funnel, which is nice. So ball jar style funnel, easy to find most stores, grocery stores. And so put that on there and then strain it and squeeze out your cheesecloth. I like to use gloves because, you know, sanitation reasons. Gets all over your hands, gets messy again, and then squeeze it out good. Then you have your oil, and it's pretty much done from there because I don't mix with water. I don't do that process. I don't have to separate anything. I filter it again. You could do that. If you're doing an alcohol batch or something, you could use a Bunkner funnel or Buchner funnel or whatever, however you pronounce it. But
Would you reintroduce the coconut oil at that point if you were going to do that to try to cut it and make it easier to work with? So it
you
wasn't
could totally
so,
cut it and
you make
dilute
it
it,
more
make
viscous.
micro doses.
Right. You
In a
do
perfect
viscosity.
world, I would just make crude. I think we probably talked about this last week. I talked about it sometime recently, and I would just go straight FSO forever and always. And then from there, whenever I wanted to make a put it into a carrier oil to make some other type of edible or anything like that, I would just put a couple drops of crude, or I call it crude. I'm sorry,
I got you. I know what you
FSO.
mean. Sure.
I'd put a couple drops of FSO into whatever carrier oil I want, and then whatever measured amount that you do your test results and all that kind of stuff, and you do all your
Right.
math. You can volumetrically figure that stuff out pretty simply. But that's what I'd start with, man. It's just source turbo and rocking out FSO, making
Those are so
bring us
expensive.
up again, taking this. So this is what I'm talking about when I say crude. Drop a couple little drops of this into, let's say, I don't know, what's this, a 4 ounce container, into a little 2 or 4 ounce container of, let's call it coconut oil.
Right.
And then this
Whip
is
it up.
sitting in this could be your double boiler. You got a little pot of water, put this of coconut oil on there, put a couple of drops of this in there, right? I'm doing this live now for you guys. I'm on a little burner here. Put a couple drops of this in there now, and then let it cook for a little while and let it double boil. And at this point, if you're using the FSO, if you're using this stuff and it's already been dicarboxylated and cooked up, this is ready as soon as it's liquid and mixed and homogenized.
Right.
So, and what you've done is you've taken a little bit of this and then created a bit of it, and now you can take a lot of bit of it and put it into capsules, or you can put it into cookies, or you can put it into, I wouldn't put it into, I'd put this into gummies, but I wouldn't put your butter or oil into gummies. But
We have a question in chat.
On
Andy
go.
Man wants to know feelings on trellising. I can go back to my story earlier about the GG4. What I really needed to do was to have a double layered scrog instead of a single one, just to be able to hold the plants up in structure. I realized that is specific to some plants. Some plants are fine and they never need any trellising whatsoever. Other ones you want to open up. Can it be a pain in the ass? Yeah, I guess it could be. It just depends on how good you are at managing the canopy and how easy it is for you to get to it. Um, if you're going to do a trellis, I would recommend, anyway, you should have one of those small roller chairs, like the little mechanics red chairs that are on wheels. Has like the little base on it that you can throw some tools and shit on. It's a good place to keep your gloves, your trimmers, and everything else, lighter, papers. But you just want to be able to make it so that you can still access the plant. You know what I mean?
You know what I need?
What?
I need one of those, but where the pad is just on the ground.
You want the creeper?
Because yeah, I need like one of those things you lay on and roll under cars.
That's a
like
creeper.
A creeper. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need one of those to sit down on because I'm not up on trays, and so when I sit on that, I'm actually where I scrog is like here. So I gotta like do this shit. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck this stool. And I end up tossing the stool and I just squat and sit down, you know what I mean?
Well,
and just get back
right.
up under there sitting Indian style.
Well, I'm seeing in chat, Rob says if you need to pull one out for any reason, you're screwed. Well, what are you pulling the plant out for anyway? The plant's probably already fuckered. And if it was, you could just nip it underneath the trellis and remove it.
I like that. The plant's probably already fuckered. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
You know what I mean? If you're taking it out, it's, Yeah, see, Granddaddy Native knows what's up. He says GG4 always wants to pump out golf balls on spaghetti. I love her. I do. That's the thing is, like, that's all I smell in my nose. And it's just like, whew, I got to go back into it.
Well, let's say you want to, like, man, it's such a strange, like, okay, this is like tech. I don't know. This is strange. Okay. What are you shooting for is like overall everything. Like, are you just an experimenter? Do you want like maximum everything? Do you want ease of access? Do you want like, it's all about what are you shooting for?
What are you growing it?
Because
can you get to all four sides of it? Are you in a tent?
Perfect world, honestly, man. Let's scrap the scrogs. Let's put our plants in there. Let's trellis them up. And you know what? Let's rotate these motherfuckers every 15 minutes because the lighting's different. You know what? If that's the case, if you want to move them around and do all that stuff, let's move them like all the time in a perfect world so they're constantly getting, because the light's on the wall on these plants. And we got to change them from this one. We got to put them here with this one. Let's constantly move them. Maybe not every 15 minutes. I'm over exaggerating.
Getting ready to hit him with the baby come back, guys. Hold on.
No, you know what I'm saying though, right?
I do.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's like perfect world. Like, but if you're going to use a scrog, like, and I see where like I like to keep my plants trained like that, and that's I get some really really good management that way when you have a lot of stakes and you're staking them up and you can rotate them because you're like, man, this side of the plant's just not getting light. I need to like do a rotation. You can't do that with a scrog.
Right.
But here's what you get out of a scrog and some other things. You can throw I don't know, man. I don't run that scale this big, but let's say you got 150, 200 foot row of plants, you know what I mean? And you only got a couple guys on a crew. You can keep all those plants stood up and staked up and scrogged up with a single 100 foot roll of scrog netting rather than using 2,000 stakes. It's going to take somebody 48 hours. You know, that 100 foot roll of scrog net took somebody, maybe it took 4 hours to pull all the plants through or something, you know, but it didn't take 72 hours or something to plant 2,000 stakes or something like that. So I think that it's all about just like,
I would say I can do it even easier is, do you have many plants or do you have few? If you have few, but you have a footprint, like let's say a tent, you may find that you would do better to be able to scrog the plant out into the light footprint, right? But if you're in a large ass room and you can just make whatever rows you want to, you may not need to. If you know that you can put enough stakes in there and that's the way that you get down and you can tie to those stakes either up or down or whatever, then, I feel it's just a matter of choice. But it's one of those things that I feel some plants like GG4, if you miscalculate it and you veg it too long and it gets really really big on you, I'm not saying it gets lanky, I'm just saying it gets to be a big girl. By the time it gets done flowering, as was said earlier in the chat, it's like golf balls on spaghetti. So having the scrog is really nice for them to be able to be supported to.
Yeah, that was kind of going to be my next go-to, was where it's genetic. So I don't do either or, I do both. One side, like the sides of my rooms are scrognet sides, just again, that's the ease of maintenance of the way that it's laid out. And then the middle is all staked plants, and that's because if I had a scrognet in there, I wouldn't be able to access equipment. So I keep my middle row actually staked plants so that I can move them around. You're right, you can't move your plants around when you're under a scrognet. So
you can if you build the scrog to the pod. If you make it like
I
where it
like that
comes off
idea
of
too.
that pot.
You
Then you
go
could move it
four
around. Yeah,
or five stakes off, and you can
Sure.
lay a net over top of it and do that. That saves you 15 stakes right there. You know, if your plant's a gorilla glue or something that's gonna fall over. Scrog nuts, man. I mean, you know, on like a normal 3x3 or a 4x4, they open up the plant nice, and they work out really nice. Like they work out great for the Death Star for that reason. But for the Grape Ape, I almost don't even need to stake it or do anything
yes,
to it.
I agree
You know
with
what
you
I
on
mean?
both of those.
Like I at my outdoors, I still don't know if I'm gonna get stakes for them. I'm kind of just still letting them go. Like they're stocked up. Like they're stocked up on their own. You know. So I
The
don't know.
Grape Ape, I completely agree with you. They aren't just don't have the structure that needs it. You don't top them out like that. They're just little happy little Christmas trees. So just leave those ones alone.
Yeah, it's really
Executive decisions, man.
genetic, man. It is. It's all executive decision. I say get comfortable with all those kind of techniques. Try them all out. Try your bending, your breaking, your topping, your fimming, your all of it. Try it all out and learn it all and figure it all out. You know, because like you're not like if you're interested in growing, you're probably not just growing one crop. And if you are just growing one crop, I don't know, man. There's way too many different options to grow. You're gonna drive yourself crazy trying to figure it out. Sorry, probably can't
Exactly.
help you, to be completely honest. But you know what? If you're not growing just one crop, man, you got some crops to try it out. You know, run a couple different plants a couple different ways. Do half a plant one way, half a plant a different way. Try to figure it. I'm not saying you can scrog a half a plant. Maybe you could, but
But this just takes time. You know, this is where not running a plant more than once and just, being a one and done, you may not find a way with that specific plant that it does really, really well. Something may be fickle and you have to figure out the way to unlock it if that's something that you really, really want to keep. But it's much easier these days for me to just say, okay, this is how I like to grow. This is how I like to set my garden up. Now the trick is to find the right plants to plug into that works in the garden and for me as well as my medicine. And it's a never-ending search, but I don't have a problem. It's really, really fun times along the way.
this is a good topic because I'm gonna go out to my outdoor garden right now, and we're gonna go over to you. You walked out there. I don't know if I had a trellis net over or not at the time
No,
you came over, but
nope.
I'm if I stand there and I look around, I'll say, what needs what? Does this plant need a trellis? Does that plant need a stake? Does that plant need a tomato cage? You know what I mean? And that's my decisions. I don't really do that indoor because everything's kind of SOP streamlined. You know what I mean? Indoors, you know, outdoor it's game of variables. So changing variables. So I kind of roll with the punches, and I just kind of like one of the plants. If it's got a whole bunch of branches, I'm like, well, I'm gonna put a stake there, and I'm just gonna lay a scrog net. And then another
Right.
plant, there's not a whole bunch of branches. I'm just gonna do one or two stakes and tie it up. Another plant, it's up against a sunflower. You're good to go. You know what I mean? So,
Those
and,
grape
and,
ape
and
gets really big nugs though, but it's a really dense, like
it's a
branching
good
and
stock.
stalk.
It's a
It's
really good
strong.
stock,
It's not going to topple over.
especially outdoor. Indoor, I have to stock it up. Outdoor, I don't know.
It doesn't look
Maybe one or two so at the bottom and so it doesn't teeter over or something, you know.
later on. Yeah,
Yeah. Later on it might go to one side or something. But I don't know, man. They're all right. I'm not seeing too many bad signs right now. Everything seems to be looking really good. In the grape ape, they bushed out, they puffed out, but they didn't get that tall. You know, they're waist high, like I figured that they would be. I still don't think they're going to get very tall, even throughout. They're not going to stretch. They're just going to flower. They might get 2 or 3 inches taller because the flowers are going to grow 2 to 3 inches tall. And that's
do you
about it.
have any of those grape ape CBD ones working this
Yes.
year? Have you
No,
noticed any?
no, not working. Not working.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Not growing. The only thing out of that entire line was the one that came up as a volunteer. I didn't have space or the plant count to grow any of those,
So
so I
which
just
one
gave
was
away
it?
a bunch of seeds. It's in the spot where the granddaddy was, and the structure of it looks like granddaddy, but the leaves look very
like a cross.
It looks like a 50-50, dude. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's
That could
pretty
be
cool.
interesting.
It's got 9 point leaves, which I've only seen on like males. So I'm really excited that I have a female with 9 point leaves.
Oh,
Whether or not
man.
it'll trans over into clone form, I don't know. But I'm really excited that I got a female with 9 point leaves.
Did you take
So
a
that's
cut of
pretty
it?
exciting. No, not yet. We'll see. Maybe I'll try to. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Nine
I'm
point
probably not
leaf
gonna
is
take a cut.
pretty
Yes.
fucking cool.
I'm probably just gonna get the. I'm probably just gonna get it tested and see what the profile is because I have a lot of those seeds and I've given away some of those seeds. So hopefully
Right.
they'll just.
Be
And
nice.
I'll just look for more, you know. But yeah, if I could find another like 9 point female indoor, I didn't take any cuts from outdoor because I just didn't really have the time to IPM everything and bring it all inside and do all that here at the house.
Right.
Didn't really want to manage with it. My
You got
IPM
enough
game
shit
here
going on,
is
man.
yeah. I got a permaculture outdoor garden that takes care of itself. That I don't really have any sprays lingering around or anything to deal with stuff. So I got enough stuff to deal with. You're exactly right. So, anyways, that's just more to edit list. The I don't know. I don't know. Did that topic finish? We on to the next one.
On to the next one, baby.
So I had the Apollo 13 dry sift in here. All right, you know what? That's what I wanted to get on was this damn FSO thing again. Was I was talking about it yesterday.
Forkfuls.
Chatty Cathy is this is half the reason why I won't shut up right now is because this stuff kicks in and this is a stimulating blend. Whatever's in this sequence said that it was just a homogenized blend of all his stuff. So I'm guessing there's what was it
So
BDE?
there would be crescendo in there. There'd be
Crescendo
some
and
OKC, some
whole bunch of good-
Citrocolu. Yeah.
So
Bunch
it's
of stuff.
stimulating for sure. Yeah. Feel good. It's a feel good buzz. That's it's rock solid, man. I like it. I'm happy. I'm still looking around for the cap to this thing because it keeps getting shit stuck to the tip. I keep having to clean it off. So anyways, I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm gonna sit here and smoke this pipe. So flick of the bit.
Next topic, revegging a plant because of light leaks. Okay. It's going to look like shit. It's not going to grow for a while. And if you leave it alone and don't fuck with it too much, it should still hang out.
Who is this? I had somebody holler at me on Instagram. I'm sorry if I can't remember who it was. Straight at the moment, I
DOG
have to
was the
look,
one that
but-
asked the question.
DOGS, yeah, that's not who hollered at me, but it's a good question because maybe he's watching the show right now also. So go ahead, Scobo. If you got anything, I'm gonna pack this up.
I took some later clones last time of the Blueberry Quintessa, and they basically went through a re-veg process that took a long time to do anything with. But now they've gotten to the point where they've grown just fine. They're as tall as everything else that's getting ready to flip into flower. So I would say on revegging something is it's not impossible. It's not something that you really need to be afraid of. You just need to make space for it, and keep an eye on it. Make sure that you're not overwatering it as it's going through the process. Um, but it could be a good way to back up genetics. Shit happens. Maybe the cat got into the room and fucked up the clone, and you lost it. But you can do that. Probably have odd leaves. Yeah, it's gonna be really leafy too for the most part. You really have to get in on those. In my experience with the couple times that I've dealt with it, and you have to really de-leaf the shit out of the plant on the inside. Oh, it was DOG, right? That who messaged you.
It was that
Yeah.
not his name? Maybe I misread his name or something. I'm kind of dyslexic. I apologize, but
It's okay.
maybe I read it wrong and whatever. So thank you. So it's weird because it's going to depend on like how far along you are on whether or not you're going to get a good jump back and how healthy
See.
that plant's going to remain. If you're like 5 weeks in, no, man. That's a good tough call. If you're like a week or 2 weeks in, I'm pretty sure in his case he was only like a week or 2 weeks in. You can re-veg it.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks. Yeah, I think that said he was like 10 or 20 days, 10 days in or 11 days in, and he started throwing balls on his plants, and it's, I guess, a strain that normally doesn't. So right there, you already know that it's something going on environmentally, or it's nutrition or something. But in his case, he knew what it was.
Right.
So
He said 9 days.
Yeah, 9 days. Okay.
So it's good that you found the light leak now, but do you think that was a, not a real light leak, but an interruption in service? Maybe that's one good thing. Is let me do this as part of the PSA. If your power goes out, if your power
I think
goes
it
out,
was like a timer issue, or
and
something
you have
like
a
that.
timer on, and when the power comes back on, the timer is wrong, so your lights are going to be coming on at weird ass times, which could trigger a herm bomb, and that sounds like probably what happened.
Mine's app based, so I have to like go in the building and like go into my app and like make sure that it like realigns and shit, because I'll go out there and my lights won't be on. I'll be like, what the fuck? But like the power had gone out, It's like they're coming on, but everything just went on to a different cycle. You know what I mean? Like when the power came on, all of a sudden the sensors all think that it's still 6 p.m. when the lights went off, and it's really 3 a.m. or whatever.
Oh, he says he plugged his new light into the wrong timer. Oof.
Oh yeah, that's rough.
Rob
man.
says, "Swazzy that bitch." Swazzy that bitch to me is ripping off all the leaves except for the very, very tips of it for the most part. That is swazzing, right?
I would second that emotion.
If it shows ball, spray switch on it.
Honestly, if I had plants backed up in veg, I would probably just start over. I would probably call those.
Not put that stress on them.
I would probably chop them. This is what I would do, honestly, is I would have plants backed up in veg. If you can't do it now, do what you're gonna do. But maybe you can in the future. Have some plants backed up in veg for emergency situations, or you're able to have a bigger plant go into flower next run or something like that, which is always nice. Have some plants backed up in veg so that you can, in case have a scenario like this, you have someone to fill those gaps. Because it sucks, but that definitely does happen. And sometimes you have to kill a plant, or sometimes you accidentally knock a plant over, break a branch, chop it in half, or something stupid just happens, man. You know what I mean? So I like to just keep a plant count available in that way.
If you do break a branch and it happens to be like the main one, quick clone that fucking thing. Just cut it back to an appropriate thing in whatever method you've had the best luck with. Jump on that. They'll make a great clone for you. Just, making lemonade out of lemons.
Yeah, you have to. You got to sometimes. But yeah, you're right, man. Putting that additional stress on the plant, and then it's a time process. You're talking about using resources. You're talking about using all these other efficiency. To me, everything's about efficiency. I don't want to say it's about cost, but it's actually like it's about efficiency. It's more about like carbon footprint and shit like that.
Well, okay, right? Then let's do this. Let's fucking switch up the game and say for all the time that you're fucking around on this re-veg, you could be well on your way to using and flipping an auto in that exact same footprint that you're using in veg to house this re-veg plant. If that was an executive decision that you wanted to make. But, if you're going to spend 60 to 80 days in a re-veg situation for something before you do anything with it, you could be, like I said, you could pull weight with that. But if it's
I think autos are a good idea for jumping in space and stuff like that. That's not a bad idea. You could call it and just toss an auto in there and it's ready. It'd be ready after your crop's over. You'd have to keep your light on or something. I mean,
I'm saying in the veg space that you
in your veg space. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm like whenever you don't have a extra plant running or you don't need extra plant. Yeah, dude, and
oh,
sorry, never mind. Apologize.
Red had the absolute max headroom moment where his screen freezed down, so I thought we lost him.
Perfect timing because I really had nowhere to go anyways. Perfect. Just kind of pulled over and parked my car.
Yeah, man, we got 9 minutes until we
Just hit the
cash
side of
up
the road
out
for a
of here. Yeah.
Roll the windows down and let air out.
Shit, John Boy says that Ethos has a new auto line. I hadn't heard that yet. That's cool.
That sounds interesting. That's cool.
I want to get my shit together next year for outdoor and try that. This year, I just have the two Spartan glues. I just didn't have time, any more time than I could devote to, you know, another spot. The OGs look pretty good.
Outdoors a big commitment, man. It's a risk, you know. I
Right.
mean, it's legal here in Michigan. It's not like a legality risk, but it's like you're putting yourself out there as a cannabis user, depending on what kind of community you're in or groups you're in or whatever. You're putting yourself out there as a, you know, maybe a law violator if your neighbors can see it and they're that type of people to report you or something like that.
It's
You
not
know, I don't know.
enclosed.
You know, it's just extra. There's additional worries and things. So you get it. And then there's extra space. You know, you got lots of ornamentals in your yard or whatever you got going on. You know, family members have other likes and dislikes on what's going on with the property. They might not want cannabis plants outside. You know, so it's a totally different caveat.
Yeah, man.
You do what you can, and that's good to have at least a couple out there. I think that they're great ornamental plants. To be honest with you, they get huge if you let them, you know,
It's
or you can
definitely.
train them and bonsai them.
Yeah. I just think that like if you can get something within, less than 3 months from start to finish, that's pretty good.
I think it's great that let's take it back to the greenhouse. How they
Exactly.
had
That's how we were working into it right there, bro. The
how they had
anvil. Yeah.
true, yeah. I mean, they're getting some nice good perps. Like, are we in August right now? End of August, ready
Yeah,
to
he
roll.
said that they were taking some of them down tomorrow. So, and
And
that's
I
what we
mean,
were looking at.
they had to get the greenhouse built before they had that going. So let's say that greenhouse was already rolling. Those anvils could have been started back in, I don't know, February or March. Those anvils could have already been smoked.
Exactly.
You know, we probably could have smoked them at the grow off or something like that. You know,
Yeah.
um, they would have been done. You know, probably on the halfway through the next round of autos, if not second round of autos already done. I mean, I wonder, 100 days. What are we looking at? 90 days to a round. So you're looking at 3 to 3.5 rounds a season or so. You
Right.
could do potentially in a. It's
Potentially,
not too
if
bad.
you may have to start them indoor. You know what I mean? And
Let's
but
talk
then
about
you're
those
gonna stress
numbers.
them
I
out.
mean, that's kind of a good number to work with. Well, you don't have to have a veg space, but you're getting 3.5 cycles a year in your bloom. With photo period, you can get 5 to 6 cycles a year in bloom, but you have to have a veg space. I don't know.
But the
That's
whole concept
we,
of it
we
is
need a
that you.
mathematician to figure that one out,
I'll just think about this: that you can keep
or me with
the
the
the veg space
multi.
ones in perpetuity, right? You can just keep taking clones of those. With the autos, you can't. So if you get, let's say that you are able to do 300 plants a year, okay? Well, then you have to have 300 seeds a year. Whatever that number is, you're paying a seed for each one, which isn't that big of a deal when you really think about it. But anything that's great that comes along, especially if it's like a newer mix, I would think that there would be a lot more variability in those seeds. So if I found something that I liked and I bought, you know, 5 packs of them, am I going to get a reliable, there's only, really one dominant thing, or is there going to be 4 or 5 different ones? It could be cool. That may be what you like. Hard to say.
Well, let's take it over to the anvil, where they were all kind of different in my opinion. There were three that were similar in a way, but one of them stood out. Almost like if you were hunting a 4 pack or a 5 pack of seeds, you'd get a couple three outsiders and one that's like your keeper, out of those four. That's kind of what I had when I and there was more than 4 of the ambles, lingering around.
Right.
But those are, I think I only like got a nice little like whiff of like 3 or 4 of them. So that's what I like to do. So I like to practice, somewhat of this is how I handle my flowers. So I try to think that other people think somewhat similar. I try to hold like some kind of etiquette to other people's gardens where I don't crush flowers or I don't like give incredible stem rubs where I'm breaking the
Oh,
branches or
hell
anything
no.
like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Some people can get a little overly aggressive and they'll start like shaking on your branches or something like that. But like,
Yeah.
I like to go underneath the flower and I like to kind of at the bottom of the stem and bottom of the flower, just kind of give it a little bottom flower stem rub, because you get a hint of the actual flower, it's always different than the stem. So little bottom flower stem rub and just like a little tickle and you get great flavor essence off of that. You don't have to squeeze the flower, you don't have to squeeze the nug. You don't have to like crush it by any means or make it sweat. You can just
Don't manhandle it.
you barely have to brush it and you will totally get the essence of it. And yeah, so practice a little bit of etiquette in there. And so I only did that with like maybe like 4 or 5 of the anvils, you know what I mean? And they were all the purple ones. I don't even think I touched one of the green ones if there were any green anvils in there. But that Frost Royal one, man. So he's got autos coming down. It's the end of August, and then the photo periods still look like they have, I don't know, 40 plus days on them. So
Yeah.
it'll be good, man. It's good to have a early crop.
Plan.
At least
Have a
get,
plan.
yeah. You're gonna be able to get a smoke down in before harvest comes because you're gonna have a lot of work to do come harvest season. And you're gonna need some weed to smoke because you're gonna be looking at all that weed that's green and wet, going, I can't smoke any of this.
Oh, not yet, man. Not yet.
So it's good you got a nice early batch down, a good amount of time where it's gonna dry out and linger around for you. I take it back. Hopefully nothing ever lingers around for anybody. Hopefully it gets consumed.
Speaking of not lingering around, we're coming up to the 2 minute warning.
Dang.
So you are still bebopping, skid scatting, and Scooby Dooing. You'll be all right. I know you're gonna go get some more shit done after this. Me, I think I'm gonna go back in that room and do a little bit more work myself too.
I'm going to eat more FSO and I'm going to see if it's going to put me to sleep. I'm going to do the actual test now. I'm going to do the control variable now. I'm going to do this alone where I'm not in a situation where I'm talking and smoking a bunch of different cannabis. So I'm going to eat more FSO and see if it puts me to sleep or if it keeps me up for another 3 hours.
Another forkful?
3 more hours.
Are we doing a forkful?
A forkful, a dripping forkful. We'll do the dripping forkful.
It's 12:59. We got to see the dripping forkful before we get out of here. Oh, he's on the clock.
I don't have a fork, Scobo. I'm gonna have to here. I have my little
okay.
hash spoon.
Yeah, my
So
hash
I guess
spoon.
I have to do a spoonful. I really just prefer to put it on my pinky and eat it.
There
to
you
be
go,
honest.
man.
I'm not. I already did that earlier. I'm not gonna gross everybody out again.
Oh.
I still have a hash pipe, man. I put the grape glee on here and everything.
Can't go till the pipe's gone, man.
No, we can sign off, man. It's okay. I'm gonna give everybody a shout out that came and hung out at the greenhouse yesterday. It was a really cool gathering. It was a lot of fun. I got to stay out that way at my parents' place. It was great seeing them. So shout out to them. And shout out to Uscobo and Sequence and Fresh Cut for sure, man. It's always great to see everybody. Spartan, who's in chat, shout out to him and Tara and Lori. They were all there and
Tommy Trichomes, Porch Farmer.
keep it rolling, man. The other two dudes whose names I keep forgetting, man, even though you told me again. So now that's twice, and I'm gonna have to go back and re-listen a couple more times. I'll figure it out. But I hope to see you all again very soon. So cheers, everybody.
Make sure that if you didn't get enough of us, to come back through on Thursday morning at 6 a.m. for Wake and Bake with the Groskies. And that's with Dan and Tara, Sequence, and myself. And always stop by Sundays at 9 for the Bro Show Live. Until next time, I'm Skilbo1.
I'm Red Setter Farm. Find me on Instagram. Peace out.